Hello students, today we are dealing with class 12th biology, reproduction in flowering plants part 5th. First we will deal with artificial hybridization. So hybrid, we know that hybrid means a combination of two plant varieties. So if we want to make a improved crop which has a higher production, we use artificial hybridization. So it is used in crop improvement programs to improve the variety of a crop. Only desired pollen grains are used for pollination. So only the best pollen grains of best varieties are used, and stigma is protected from contamination from unwanted pollen. So the other pollen which we do not desire, they are prevented from landing on the stigma. This is achieved by two methods, emasculation and bagging. So emasculation, it is the process of removal of anther from a bisexual flower. So in a bisexual flower, we know that both the sex organs are present. So anthers are removed from the flower bud before anther dehisces or opens using a pair of forceps. So the anther is removed so that the pollen grain does not land on stigma of same flower. Then bagging is done. The emasculated flower is covered with a bag of suitable size. So it is covered with a bag which is made of butter paper. So butter paper is a thin paper which has pores. This is done to prevent the contamination of stigma with unwanted pollen. So by this method we can select only the desired pollen and they will land on the stigma. Here we can see emasculation. In the left hand side diagram we can see that anther is being removed by a pair of forceps or scissors, and in the second we can see bagging. The flower is covered with a bag. When the stigma of bagged flower becomes receptive, so when the stigma becomes mature, the pollen collected from a desired male parent is dusted on the stigma. So a desired pollen is dusted on the stigma and the flowers are rebagged. So they are again covered by a bag and fruits are allowed to develop. Now if the female parent has unisexual flowers, only one sex flowers, there is no need of emasculation because the flowers are already only female. The female buds are bagged, so they are just covered by a bag before flowers open. When stigma becomes receptive, the pollination is carried using desired pollen and flower is rebagged. So if the female bud has only one sex, only they are female, then we simply put the pollen on the stigma and cover it. There is no need of emasculation in unisexual flowers. Double fertilization. In the last class we studied how the pollen tube enters the ovule. So after entering one of the synergids, we know that there were two synergids. So after entering one synergid, the pollen tube releases the two male gametes into cytoplasm of synergid. Now one of the male gamete moves towards the egg cell and fuses with its nucleus. This is called syngamy. So the first male gamete fuses with egg cell and it is called syngamy. It results in formation of diploid zygote. So zygote is formed. The other male gamete fuses with two polar nuclei in central cell and produces a triploid primary endosperm nucleus. And this nucleus will in future form the endosperm. This cell will form the endosperm since it involves fusion of three haploid nuclei, one male gamete and two polar nuclei. Since there are three nuclei, it is also called triple fusion. since two types of fusions, so we saw that two times fertilization takes place: syngamy between the first male gamete and egg cell, and triple fusion between the second male gamete and the polar nuclei. It is called double fertilization. So in angiosperms, double fertilization and triple fusion takes place. It is a unique process. It does not take place in other plant families. The central cell, so the central cell which was having polar nuclei, after triple fusion becomes primary endosperm cell, and it forms endosperm while the zygote develops into embryo. So this is their future. Here we can see the first male gamete fuses with egg nucleus to form diploid zygote, which will form the embryo, and the second male gamete fuses with two polar nuclei to form triploid endosperm nucleus, which will form endosperm in future. In this diagram we can see the A diagram, fertilized embryo sac showing zygote and primary endosperm nucleus. In this we can see the antipodal cells degenerate. In the center, primary endosperm nucleus is formed. The surrounding central cell is now called primary endosperm cell. The egg cell which fused with zygote, it formed zygote which is diploid, and the synergids also degenerate. In the B figure we can see stages in embryo development in dicot. So the zygote, it divides and forms a globular embryo with many cells. Then the embryo becomes heart shaped, a suspensor is produced or a long stalk, and the embryo differentiates into plumule which will form the shoot, radicle which will form future root, and cotyledons. So since there are two cotyledons, we can see two parts and the shape is heart shape, it is a dicot embryo. Post fertilization events. So these events are which follow double fertilization. After double fertilization, development of endosperm and embryo takes place during this stage. Maturation of ovule into seed and ovary into fruit takes place. Now we see endosperm. Endosperm develops before embryo. So it is important that embryo does not develop first. First endosperm develops because it will provide nutrition to the embryo. The primary endosperm cell divides repeatedly. So it divides many times and forms a triploid endosperm tissue. So a tissue is produced from the central cell. Cells in this tissue have reserve food and they give nutrition. So since they have reserve food, they will give nutrition to the developing embryo. Primary endosperm nucleus also undergoes divisions. So the nucleus undergoes division and many nuclei are formed. They are free because cross walls or cell walls are not formed. So many nuclei can be seen in the cell. This stage of embryo development is called free nuclear endosperm. So when nucleus divides but partition is not formed, it is called free nuclear endosperm. After this, cell walls are formed and endosperm becomes cellular. So first nuclei divide and later cell walls are formed. An example is coconut. So we might have seen, children, that coconut contains water which we drink. So this water is actually free nuclear endosperm. It has thousands of nucleus. And the surrounding white kernel which we eat, it is the cellular endosperm which has cell walls. So we see both type of endosperm in the coconut. In this figure we can see the white flesh which is solid, it is the endosperm, cellular endosperm, while the coconut milk is liquid endosperm. Now the seeds are of two types according to presence of endosperm on maturity. Albuminous or endospermic seed, as the name suggests, endosperm is persistent in mature seed. So endosperm is present, it remains in the mature seed because it is used during seed germination. It will be used during seed germination in future. Example is castor and coconut. So we just saw that in coconut there is endosperm present in mature fruit. Non-albuminous or non-endospermic seed. So in these, endosperm is completely consumed by developing embryo. So during development of embryo, the whole endosperm is consumed and it is not present in a mature seed. So endosperm is absent. The food on maturity is provided only by the cotyledons. Example is pea, groundnut and beans. So in this diagram we can see broad bean and maize. So maize is endospermic seed. We can see the yellow part. So maize has endosperm present while bean does not have endosperm because it is consumed during development of embryo. It only has cotyledon. Okay, so endospermic seed has endosperm at maturity while the non-endospermic seed does not have endosperm. It has cotyledons to provide nutrition. Okay children, thanks.